Good afternoon, Arsenal fans. Neomis here, giving you another video, and I think it's about time we talk about the game coming up on Sunday, and that is Arsenal versus Chelsea. Arsenal's first home game of the season, and I can tell you this right now that I don't think we're going to get a win. I'm just putting it out there. So, to any of you that clicked on this thinking that Neomis was going to be the guy to give you some type of positive result from this game. For me, it's going to have to be a no. Even with the recent additions that we've just brought in, the likes of Aaron Ramsdale, the likes of Martin Odegaard, decent players with their talent, but nevertheless, they are not enough to provide Arsenal what we need going forward to really kind of progress, particularly in this game. And then when you look at the last game against Brentford with how it ended, with the situation right now with Aubameyang and Lacazette, who, as of today that I'm recording this, Thursday the 19th of August, 6:40, oh, sorry, 4:41 p.m. Aubameyang and Lacazette will not be playing on Sunday as of right now. And what we are left with is a situation whereby it is an opportunity for Mikel Arteta to change things, especially for me long term. If he wants to keep his job, he has to change things. Now, do I think that he will change things? The answer to that is no, I don't. But I think he's forced into a situation whereby he's going to do similar to what he did last week against Brentford. I just hope that he manages to get the attitude right this time with a lot of the players and definitely tweak the tactics overall to get Arsenal in a at least to be able to put out a competent performance. Might not get the result that we want, but to be able to go out there and put a shift in overall. Because for me in this game, I expect nothing and I hope for everything. But if we can go out there and put in a good shift in defensively, put in a solid performance, then you never know. You never know. Anything might happen. We might get a penalty. Chelsea might get an injury to maybe some key players, and then that's it. Then that's it. And anything could really happen. And what I think Arsenal need to do first of all is that we kind of need to again, we need to get back to basics. And getting back to basics really means shoring up the defense. We knew that last season Arsenal had one of the best defenses in in the Premier League, especially in the second half of the season, and we knew the reason why that was because we had Callum Chambers and Tierney in that back line, but also because we had Rob Holding and Gabriel in that defense, which you know I thought provided the best balance because you know that Gabriel's the type of defender that will come out and try to meet danger head on. He's not going to sit back and wait for the danger to come to him, and I can respect that. And then you got Rob Holden there, who, for me, I don't think is a world class defender, but I think Rob Holden, most of the time, 7 out of 10s will give you a decent performance in defense. He has his weaknesses. His passing, not really that accurate. He tries. I will say that he tries, but for the majority of the time, it doesn't quite come off to what Rob Holden is really looking at. But with Gabriel still out injured, I I am definitely petitioning for bringing in Rob Holding back into the starting lineup. I think we need to get as close as that back four and goalkeeper as we did last season because that was the tried and tested model. And I know Mikel Arteta is desperate to play Ben White. Play Ben White in there as well. I would take him over the likes of Pablo Mari, who for me, um, after the first couple of times of seeing him, not a fan of his. I just think that he's too one-footed. It's just not. I'm not a fan of his, and I know that there might people be saying, "Oh, Neoma's got to give him more of a chance. He needs a bit more games." But you know what I'm saying? No, no. I've seen enough from him to realize is he a good defender? No, I think he's an okay defender. Uh, he's good at playing out the ball from the back. I think that's the part that he provides. But for me, I like my defenders to defend first, and then all that other extra stuff like, can they score goals? Can they attack? Can they really go forward? Can they play the ball out from the back? Those are more like the bonus stuff. But if Arsenal gets that defense right, then we could use that as a way to build a platform to be able to us getting into some type of goal scoring form. Now, the midfield, for me, is whereby I think we do need some work. Now, I believe that Arteta will go and continue playing Sambi Lakonga because parties are injured, and he will stick his boy Xhaka in that midfield. I, however, wouldn't have that. I would go more with the two in midfield. I mean, to be honest, I'd change up the whole starting 11 to more of a 3-5-2, but I don't think the Arteta is going to go anywhere near that. But I think he'll stick with the 4-2-3, the 4-2-3-1 in the midfield. I'm going to go with Ainsley Maitland-Niles. For me, he has legs. He can give you that defensive solidity as well, matched with the likes of Sambi in that midfield, who I thought had a really good game against Brentford. Had some moments whereby you could have said, "Oh, maybe you could have done a bit better," but for the most part, for your Premier League debut, for him to play like how he was, and let's be really honest, we bought Sambi Lakonga to be a kind of backup forward for Thomas Partey. I thought he did a really good performance in that, and pairing him up against a Maitland now, so I know who has legs in that midfield, can get back and defend when need be. I think we got to solidify that midfield, and having Xhaka in that midfield for me just isn't quite good enough. And that's genuinely how I would have it real placed there. Then how you want to go with the three? For me, I need to see Pepe out on the left. For me, I think he gets completely isolated on that right side. And we started to see the Pepe that we saw in the first half of last season, who just does the same thing. Receives the ball, maybe do a little shimmy here, pretending like he's going to go for a little bit of a trick. Comes in on the inside. Smith Rowe is normally in and around there, so he passes it to Smith Rowe, and then he passes it out wide to probably Xhaka, and then he passes it to Tierney, and then Tierney swings it in, and then we lose possession, and it's the same thing over and over again. If you play Pepe on that left, you force him to either take a shot on his left, on his strong left foot, or provide a really good pass overall. And that's what I want. I want to see Pepe on that left, like causing nothing but havoc. I even think Pepe should be in more of like a free roll, whereby he's allowed to drift out either into the number 10 or on the left side, because I think right now with Aubameyang and Lacazette being out, he's on more of the better players that we have right here at Arsenal. So for me, I think you got to play to his strengths and give him the opportunity to cause damage to Chelsea. I mean, like if we can. Uh, at the number 10, I'm gonna go with Smith Rowe. That's not gonna change. Um, I yeah, I thought Smith Rowe had a really good game, and a lot of the pundits were saying the same thing. I wouldn't have said that he was the best player that we had. I thought for me that was Sambi. I thought he had a good performance, but take nothing away from Emil Smith Rowe. Just putting in a good solid performance against Brentford, and I think he could do something against Chelsea as well, like what we saw in the back end of last season. And then on the right side, I'm actually going to go with Martinelli. I think that if you put Martinelli and Pepe in free rolls and allow them to drift out wide right, wide left, you're gonna give Chelsea a bit of a surprise. They're not going to be expecting that. Both players can play on both wings, and I've seen them do it before. And Martinelli's such a good player that, I know people are saying that he's mainly a left-sided player. And I get it, yeah, he's mainly a left-sided player, but Martinelli could do both. I've seen him drift out there on the right side and come in and cross the ball in when need be, and dribble and try to create chances. So for me, he can do it all. And there's gonna be moments in the games where he drifts out, coming into that inside forward role. If he goes out wide, fine. I still think that we can do some bits there. But I think a lot of the play needs to be on the ground now. If we're if we're trying to whip in the ball when we don't really have a proper focal point, it's it's just gonna mean we're gonna lose possession. We're gonna give Chelsea a lot of time on the ball. I hope Arteta doesn't play a high line like what I saw in pre-season, because it's not the way forward. But what we can do is that with only Balogun up front, we must be able to help him as much as possible, and that's where Pepe occasionally going into the box to help Balogun out, Martinelli occasionally going into the box helping Balogun out, but also providing a good structure to whereby we can then not only defend as a team but we can attack as a team and potentially be a threat for Chelsea. Now, I won't lie to anybody. This is going to be a tough game. Um, the story is that Lukaku won't be there, but I'm hearing talks that Lukaku might get some run out today. I don't think he'll start, but I do expect him potentially to be on the bench, maybe to even get 20, 30 minutes out. But I'll have to look into that in more detail. But the threat is there, people. And we do need to watch out that this game could get out of hand in terms of Mikel Arteta and his future at Arsenal. And I just hope that he puts in a good shift in, and decides to play to his players' strengths, because I think that's been his biggest downfall. And if he doesn't play to his players' strengths, I think we're screwed. But I think if he does go with what I've suggested, I do think that at the very least we can keep the scoreline down. We can go out there and put in some effort. And you know what? I'm not going to go for a win or a draw. I still think it'll be a Chelsea win, but I'll actually go with a 2-1 victory for Arsenal, because I believe that the talent is there. Of course, injuries has affected us, and you know what? Anything can happen leading up to this. Maybe Aubameyang and Lacazette will surprisingly get some fitness, and it means that we can then play them. Whatever the rumors are, I'm hearing talks about COVID. If it was COVID, then they would have said it was COVID. But I mean, like, that's like the easiest thing to say with everything that's going on right now. If they have COVID, say it's COVID. Say that, they need to isolate because of potential COVID in their like personal household. It doesn't even necessarily have to be someone in the team that's contracted it, but they could have Arteta could have worded it like that. So I don't believe it's a situation whereby they're sick. I think this is a simple thing with they're down in tools and they're just not into Arteta. Um, and yeah, it's a tough one right now. The players look frustrated. The fans are frustrated. I mean, you've seen my frustrations, and to anybody on 101 Arsenal, I know you've seen the likes of Apollo's frustrations on his channel, and on the 101 stream. So it's one of those whereby Arsenal, Arteta, like, now is the time. Let's put in a good effort, get fans something to enjoy, hopefully get fans something to think about, and to say, you know what, this club is going forward. At least go out there and try, because I think that that's really all that we really want as Arsenal fans right now. So definitely give me your thoughts below on what you think, how the game is going to go, and your predictions. Who do you think we're going to start? I think the goal scorer is going to be Pepe for me, and that would align really well with my fantasy team right now for week two. I just had to remove Madison since I think he's got a 70% chance of playing, but for me, I need 100% chance. I actually decided to bring in Pulisic as part of my squad, and hopefully he'll score in this game to help me out there. But leave your comments below, guys, and your thoughts on the game. Do you think we're going to win? Do you think we're going to lose? Score lines, lineups. Interested to hear what you guys have to say. But until then, I will see you all on my next video, which will be in the link in the description below. Until then, see you next time.